Do you ever feel life is rushing by? It can seem like you're always trying to keep up. The chaos, noise, and endless demands pull you in every direction. We've all been there. We've all been there. But what if I told you there's a way to stay calm, focused, and in control, no matter what life throws at you? A way to not just survive the storm, but thrive in it. As Marcus Aurelius once said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This isn't about running away from challenges or avoiding reality. It's about mastering it. It's about learning how to control your emotions, make better decisions, and build habits that keep you ahead of the game, no matter how unpredictable life gets. Think of it like being a captain steering a ship through rough seas. You can't control the waves, but you can control how you navigate them. And today we're diving into 10 timeless Stoic lessons that will teach you how to stay calm under pressure and master your emotions. Make decisions with clarity and confidence. Build habits that align with your purpose. And find true freedom and fulfillment no matter the circumstances. If you're ready to take control of your life and unlock the wisdom of the Stoics, stick around. And don't forget to like this video and share it with someone who could use a little clarity in their life. Let's dive in. 1. Understanding the importance of self-discipline, the Stoics' secret weapon. Let's talk about self-discipline, not the harsh, rigid version that feels like punishment, but the empowering kind that helps you take control of your life and align your actions with your deepest values and goals. Self-discipline isn't about depriving yourself of joy or living a life of endless sacrifice. It's about making intentional choices, resisting distractions, and staying committed to what truly matters, even when the path gets tough. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers of resilience and wisdom, believed that self-discipline was the cornerstone of a meaningful life. They taught that mastering your impulses and desires unlocks your potential and allows you to live a life of virtue, fulfillment, and inner peace. Think of it this way: you're driving a powerful sports car on a winding mountain road. The engine is roaring, ready to unleash its full potential, but without your steady hands on the wheel, it could easily veer off course or crash. Self-discipline is like being the skilled driver. It's the steady hand that keeps you on track, the calm focus that helps you navigate life's challenges, and the inner strength that ensures you reach your destination. Without it, even the most powerful engine, your passions, talents, and ambitions, can lead you astray. But with self-discipline, you can channel that energy into achieving your goals and creating a life that aligns with your purpose. Now, how do you cultivate this kind of self-discipline? How do you strengthen your ability to stay focused and resist the temptations that constantly surround us? Let's take a look at a story. Meet Daniel, a young architect with big dreams of starting his own design firm. He's talented, full of ideas, and highly motivated, but every time he sits down to work on his business plan, he's pulled away by the endless scroll of social media, the allure of gaming, or the comfort of procrastination. Days turn into weeks, and his dream feels further away than ever. One day, Daniel decides enough is enough. He writes down his goals, breaks them into small, actionable steps, and sets clear deadlines. He creates a workspace free from distractions, puts his phone on silent, and commits to working on his business plan for just 1 hour a day. At first it's hard, the pull of distractions is strong, but over time, those small daily victories build momentum. Months later, Daniel launches his firm, and he realizes that self-discipline was the bridge between his aspirations and his reality. So, what can we learn from Daniel's story? First, set clear goals. What do you truly want to achieve? What kind of person do you want to become? Having a clear vision gives you a roadmap to follow and provides the motivation to stay on track. Second, start small. Don't overwhelm yourself by trying to change everything at once. Focus on one habit or goal at a time and let the success of small steps build your confidence and momentum. Third, create an environment that supports your growth. Remove distractions, surround yourself with people who encourage your progress, and set yourself up for success. And finally, practice delayed gratification. In a world full of instant rewards, remind yourself that the most meaningful achievements often require patience and effort. Self-awareness is another critical component. Take the time to reflect on your habits and identify the patterns that might be holding you back. Are you giving in to short-term pleasures at the expense of long-term goals? Are fear or doubt steering you off course? By understanding yourself and your triggers, you can develop strategies to overcome these challenges and build the self-discipline needed to succeed. As Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, wisely said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." True freedom comes from mastering your mind, emotions, and actions. It's about breaking free from the chains of impulsive desires and distractions that keep you from reaching your full potential. The next time you're tempted to procrastinate, indulge in fleeting pleasures, or abandon a challenging task, think of yourself as that skilled driver or the Stoic charioteer. Take hold of the reins, guide your passions with wisdom, and remind yourself of the bigger picture. Self-discipline isn't about denying yourself happiness. It's about creating a life of meaning, purpose, and fulfillment. Every choice you make moves you either closer to your goals or further away from them. Which direction will you choose? The lesson is clear. Self-discipline is your secret weapon. It's the tool that transforms dreams into reality, helps you overcome obstacles with grace, and allows you to live a life that aligns with your values and aspirations. Start small, stay consistent, and remember that even the smallest step forward is progress. Take control of your life and steer yourself toward the future you've always envisioned. The power is in your hands. What will you do with it? 2. Maintaining a positive outlook on failure. The Stoics' Guide to Embracing Setbacks. Let's talk about failure, not the kind that makes you want to give up, but the kind that teaches you, shapes you, and pushes you forward. Failure is not the enemy. It's not a sign of weakness or incompetence. It's a teacher, a guide, and a necessary part of the journey toward growth and success. The Stoics, those wise philosophers of resilience and perspective, believed that failure is not the opposite of success, it's a part of it. They understood that setbacks are opportunities to learn, refine, and grow. By embracing failure, analyzing our mistakes, and extracting valuable lessons, we can emerge stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever. Think about it. How many times have you stumbled only to realize later that the experience taught you something profound? Maybe you missed out on a job you wanted, only to discover a better opportunity down the road. Or perhaps you made a mistake in a relationship, but it helped you understand yourself and what you truly need. Failure, when seen through the right lens, can be one of life's greatest gifts. Let me tell you a story. There's a young man named Alex who dreamed of starting his own business. He poured his savings into his first venture, a small coffee shop in his neighborhood. But things didn't go as planned. The location wasn't ideal, the marketing fell short, and within a year he had to close the doors. Alex was devastated. He felt like a failure, questioning his abilities and doubting his dreams. But after some time, he decided to reflect on what went wrong. He realized he hadn't done enough research on foot traffic in the area, and his menu didn't cater to the local crowd. Instead of giving up, Alex took those lessons and tried again. This time, he chose a better location, tailored his offerings to the community, and focused on building strong relationships with his customers. His second coffee shop thrived, and Alex often says that his first failure was the best thing that ever happened to him. Without it, he wouldn't have learned the lessons that led to his success. So, what about you? When you face setbacks, do you see them as a dead end or as a stepping stone to something greater? The key is to reframe your perspective. Instead of seeing failure as a reflection of your worth or abilities, view it as a chance to grow. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? How can I use this setback to refine my approach and improve? Focus on the process, not just the outcome. Success isn't just about reaching the finish line, it's about the effort, the dedication, and the lessons learned along the way. Celebrate your progress, even if it's small, and acknowledge that every stumble is part of the journey. Be kind to yourself when you fall. Practice self-compassion. Imagine if a friend came to you feeling defeated by a mistake, you wouldn't berate them or tell them to give up. You'd encourage them, remind them of their strengths, and help them see the bigger picture. Offer yourself that same kindness. Forgive yourself, learn from the experience, and move forward with a renewed sense of purpose. Adopting a growth mindset is another powerful tool. Believe in your ability to adapt, learn, and overcome. Setbacks are not permanent roadblocks. They're opportunities to develop new skills, strengthen your resilience, and expand your potential. Look for inspiration in the stories of others. Did you know that Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination before building one of the most creative empires in history? Or that Oprah Winfrey was told she wasn't fit for television before becoming one of the most influential media figures of all time? These stories remind us that failure is not the end, it's often the beginning of something extraordinary. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, once said, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." Failure often marks the end of one chapter and the start of another. It's a chance to pivot, to grow, and to create something even better. So, the next time you face a setback, ask yourself, what is this teaching me? How can I use this experience to become stronger and more capable? Remember, failure is not something to fear or avoid, it's something to embrace. It's a sign that you're trying, that you're pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone, and that you're on the path to growth. The lesson here is simple. Failure is a stepping stone, not a stumbling block. It's an opportunity to learn, to adapt, and to move closer to your goals. When you fall, don't stay down. Get back up, dust yourself off, and take the next step with courage and determination. Life is full of twists and turns, but with the right mindset, every setback can become a setup for success. So, my friend, the next time you stumble, remember Alex, remember Seneca, and remember this: the road to success is paved with lessons learned from failure. What will you learn from yours? 3. Thinking logically before making decisions. The Stoics' Guide to Clear-Headed Choices. Let's talk about the decisions that truly matter, not the everyday ones like what to eat for lunch, but the life-changing choices that shape your career, relationships, and future. These are the decisions that can keep you awake at night, where you weigh the pros and cons endlessly, replay every possible outcome in your mind, and sometimes even wish for a crystal ball to tell you what to do. But here's the truth. Decisions aren't always easy. Our minds are constantly bombarded with emotions, opinions, and biases that cloud our judgment, making it hard to see the bigger picture. We might act on impulse, follow the crowd, or let fear and doubt steer us off course. The Stoics, however, offer us a timeless strategy. Think logically. Logic is like a superpower that allows you to cut through the noise, evaluate situations clearly, and make decisions that align with your values and goals. It's about engaging your rational mind, questioning assumptions, and considering the long-term impact of your choices. Let me share a story. Meet Rachel, a marketing professional who was offered a promotion at work. On the surface, it seemed like the perfect opportunity: a higher salary, a fancy title, and a chance to lead a bigger team. But there was a catch. The new role required her to relocate to a different city, away from her family and friends. Rachel was torn. Her emotions were pulling her in different directions: excitement about the promotion, guilt about leaving her loved ones, and fear of the unknown. She knew she needed to make a decision, but the pressure was overwhelming. Instead of rushing into it, Rachel decided to take a step back and apply logical thinking. She listed the pros and cons of the move, asked herself how the decision aligned with her long-term goals, and sought advice from her mentor. She also considered the potential consequences, not just the immediate ones, but how the choice might affect her happiness and personal growth in the years ahead. After careful reflection, Rachel realized that while the promotion sounded appealing, staying close to her support system was more important to her at this stage of her life. By thinking logically, Rachel made a decision she could stand by, one that aligned with her values and gave her peace of mind. So, what about you? When faced with tough decisions, do you let emotions take the wheel, or do you take a step back and think things through? The first step to making clear-headed decisions is to question everything. Don't take things at face value. Ask yourself, is this information accurate? What assumptions am I making? Are there other perspectives I haven't considered? Cultivating a healthy skepticism can help you avoid jumping to conclusions and ensure you're basing your decisions on solid evidence. Next, identify your biases. We all have them, those mental shortcuts that can distort our thinking, like favoring information that confirms what we already believe, or letting fear of failure hold us back. By becoming aware of your biases, you can start to challenge them and make more objective choices. Another key strategy is to consider the consequences. Before making a decision, think several steps ahead. What are the potential outcomes of this choice? How might it affect you and those around you in the short term and the long term? It's like playing chess. The best players don't just focus on the next move, they anticipate the ripple effects of their actions. Don't be afraid to seek wise counsel either. The Stoics valued the wisdom of others and often sought advice from trusted mentors or peers. When you're feeling stuck, reach out to someone whose judgment you respect. They might offer a perspective you hadn't considered or help you weigh the options more clearly. Finally, reflect on your decisions after the fact. What worked well, what didn't? Learning from your experiences is one of the most powerful ways to improve your decision-making skills over time. As Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, once said, "First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." Before making a choice, think about the person you want to become and the values you want to live by. Let that vision guide your decisions. So, my friend, the next time you're faced with a tough decision, remember that you hold the power to think logically and make choices that align with your goals and values. Picture yourself as an architect designing your life. You wouldn't build a skyscraper without a blueprint, would you? Use logic as your foundation, question everything, and weigh the potential outcomes carefully. By doing so, you'll create a life that stands strong, built on purpose, wisdom, and clarity. And when you look back, you'll see that every decision you made, even the difficult ones, helped shape the life you truly wanted. What's the next big decision you're facing, and how will you approach it? 4. Building consistent daily habits, the Stoics' blueprint for a life well lived. Let's talk about habits, not the ones that hold you back, like scrolling endlessly on your phone or putting off important tasks, but the ones that empower you, shape your future, and help you build the life you've always dreamed of. Habits aren't just mindless routines or things we do on autopilot. They are the foundation of who we are. Every small action you repeat daily is like a brick, and together, those bricks build the structure of your life, your character, your goals, and your overall happiness. The Stoics, those ancient masters of wisdom and discipline, understood this better than anyone. They believed that habits were the key to living a virtuous and fulfilling life. By consciously choosing the right habits, they taught you could shape your character, guide your actions, and ultimately create a life of purpose and inner peace. Think of it like this. You're a sculptor, standing in front of a block of marble. Each small, deliberate strike of your chisel shapes the stone, revealing a masterpiece over time. Your daily habits are those precise strokes, slowly but surely sculpting you into the person you aspire to be. Let me tell you about James, a software engineer who felt stuck in his life. He wanted to get healthier, improve his skills, and feel more in control of his days, but he didn't know where to start. Every time he tried to make a change, he'd go all in for a few weeks, hitting the gym every day or working on a side project for hours, only to burn out and fall back into old patterns. One day, a friend gave him some advice. Start small. Focus on one thing at a time and don't worry about being perfect. James decided to try it. Instead of committing to an intense workout routine, he started walking for 10 minutes every morning. Instead of trying to master a new programming language in a month, he spent 15 minutes each evening learning one new concept. Over time, those small habits became part of his daily routine. The walks turned into runs, the 15 minutes of coding became an hour, and James began to feel healthier, more confident, and more accomplished. His life didn't change overnight, but those small, consistent habits added up to something big. What about you? What small habit could you start today that might lead to a big transformation over time? The key to building habits that stick is to start small and be specific. Don't overwhelm yourself by trying to change everything at once. Focus on 1 or 2 habits that align with your goals and make them as clear as possible. Instead of saying, "I want to get fit," say, "I'll do 10 push-ups every morning after I wake up." This clarity makes it easier to take action. Next, focus on consistency, not intensity. It's better to do something small every day than to go all out once in a while. The Stoics understood that consistency is what builds momentum and lasting change. Think of it like planting a seed. You don't need to flood it with water all at once. You just need to water it a little every day and let it grow. Creating a supportive environment is also crucial. Make it as easy as possible to stick to your new habits. If you want to read more, keep a book on your nightstand or in your bag. If you want to eat healthier, stock your kitchen with nutritious snacks and remove the junk food. Your environment can either support your goals or make them harder to achieve, so set yourself up for success. Another powerful tool is finding an accountability partner. Having someone to share your progress with, whether it's a friend, a coach, or even a community, can keep you motivated and on track. When you know someone is rooting for you or checking in, it's easier to stay consistent. And don't forget to celebrate your successes along the way. Every small win, every day you stick to your habit, is a step forward. Recognize and reward yourself for the effort you're putting in, no matter how small it may seem. The Stoics believed that habits are the building blocks of excellence. As Aristotle famously said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. This means that the life you want to live isn't created by a single grand gesture or moment of inspiration. It's built slowly, day by day, through the small, consistent actions you take. So, the next time you feel overwhelmed by the changes you want to make, remember the Stoic sculptor. Focus on small, deliberate actions and trust that over time, those actions will shape you into the masterpiece you were meant to be. What habits are you building today, and how will they shape the person you want to become? Thank you for being part of today's video. Before we proceed, I want to thank you for your participation in our community. Leave a comment about a small habit you will change today to live in alignment with your values and dreams. For example, "I will move forward." Share your commitment so we can start making changes together. Let's continue this journey together, shall we? 5. Staying humble despite achievements. The Stoics' Guide to Grounded Success. Let's talk about success, not the flashy kind that's measured by the size of your paycheck, the number of likes on your social media posts, or the titles you've collected, but the kind that truly matters. The success that fills you with purpose, joy, and a deep sense of fulfillment. Here's the thing about success. It's a double-edged sword. On one hand, it's the result of your hard work, dedication, and perseverance. On the other hand, it can easily inflate your ego, blind you to your own flaws, and create distance between you and the people who matter most. Think of success like climbing a mountain. The higher you climb, the thinner the air becomes, making it harder to breathe and easier to lose your balance. But the Stoics, those ancient philosophers of wisdom and self-mastery, knew the secret to staying grounded no matter how high you climb: humility. Humility is the anchor that keeps you steady, the reminder that you're still a work in progress, and the key to maintaining meaningful connections with the world around you. Consider this: you're a tree that bears fruit. The fruit represents your achievements, the tangible results of your hard work, talent, and dedication. But the roots of the tree, hidden beneath the surface, represent your humility, your connection to the earth, your acknowledgement of the support you've received, and the foundation that keeps you stable. Without strong roots, the tree would topple under the weight of its own success, unable to withstand the storms of life or continue to grow. But with deep, grounded roots, the tree can stand tall, weather any challenge, and continue to bear fruit for years to come. This is the essence of staying humble despite your achievements. It's not about denying your success or pretending it doesn't matter. It's about recognizing that your accomplishments are just one part of your journey, a stepping stone on the path to continued growth, learning, and contribution. Let me share a story. Meet Emma, a young entrepreneur who built a successful online business from scratch. Her company grew quickly, and soon she was being featured in magazines, invited to speak at conferences, and praised by her peers. At first, Emma felt unstoppable. She began to believe that her success was entirely her own doing, and started dismissing the advice of her team, thinking she knew best. But then, her business hit a rough patch. Sales dropped, and her employees started leaving because they felt undervalued. Emma was forced to take a hard look at herself. She realized that her arrogance had blinded her to the contributions of others and led her to make poor decisions. Humbled by the experience, Emma changed her approach. She began practicing gratitude, openly acknowledging the efforts of her team and the mentors who had guided her. She embraced feedback, admitted her mistakes, and focused on rebuilding trust. Over time, her business recovered, and Emma learned a valuable lesson. Success without humility is fragile. What about you? When you achieve something great, do you take the time to reflect on the people and circumstances that helped you get there, or do you let the praise go to your head? The first step to staying humble is practicing gratitude. Take a moment to appreciate the people, opportunities, and experiences that have contributed to your success. Recognize that no one achieves anything entirely on their own. Whether it's the support of family, the guidance of a mentor, or the collaboration of a team, there's always someone who played a role in your journey. Next, acknowledge your limitations. No matter how much you achieve, remember that you're still human, still learning, growing, and evolving. Embrace constructive criticism and don't shy away from admitting when you're wrong. This openness not only keeps you grounded, but also helps you continue to improve. Another way to stay humble is to focus on the process, not just the outcome. Success isn't just about reaching the top, it's about the lessons you learn, the effort you put in, and the person you become along the way. Celebrate your progress and appreciate the journey itself. Maintaining a beginner's mind is also essential. No matter how much you know, approach each new challenge with curiosity and a willingness to learn. Don't assume you have all the answers. Instead, seek out new perspectives and ideas. And finally, use your success to serve others. Share your knowledge, mentor someone who's just starting out, or contribute to a cause that matters to you. Helping others not only keeps you humble, but also gives your success a deeper sense of purpose. As Socrates wisely said, the only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. The more you learn and achieve, the more you realize how much there is still to discover. Embrace this truth and let it inspire you to stay curious, open, and grounded. So, my friend, the next time you achieve something great, remember the Stoic tree. Let your roots grow deep, let your humility keep you steady, and let your branches reach for the sky with grace and gratitude. Success is not just about what you achieve, it's about how you carry yourself along the way. How will you use your success to grow, to learn, and to make a positive impact on the world around you? 6. Exercising wisdom in conflicts. The Stoics' Guide to Navigating Disagreements. Let's talk about conflict, not the dramatic kind with explosions or courtroom battles, but the everyday disagreements, misunderstandings, and clashes of opinion that arise in your relationships, workplace, or even within your family. Conflict is often seen as something negative, something to avoid or suppress. But here's the truth: conflict isn't inherently bad. In fact, when handled wisely, it can be an opportunity for growth, deeper understanding, and even stronger relationships. The Stoics, those ancient masters of reason and emotional resilience, viewed conflict as a natural part of life. They saw it as a chance to practice virtues like patience, self-control, and empathy. Instead of fearing disagreements, they believed in approaching them with clarity, wisdom, and a commitment to finding solutions that benefit everyone involved. Think of it this way: conflict is like a weed growing in a beautiful flower bed. You could ignore it, hoping it goes away on its own, but that weed will spread, choking the flowers and ruining the garden. Or you could face it head-on, carefully identifying the root of the problem, addressing it with care, and learning what your garden needs to thrive. In the same way, conflicts can teach us about ourselves, our relationships, and how we can grow together. Let me share a story. Sarah, a project manager at a tech company, found herself in constant disagreement with one of her team members, Tom. Tom often dismissed her ideas during meetings, and Sarah felt frustrated and undervalued. At first, she avoided addressing the issue, hoping it would resolve itself, but the tension only grew. One day, after a particularly heated exchange, Sarah decided to approach the situation differently. She remembered advice she'd read about active listening and emotional control. Instead of reacting defensively, Sarah asked Tom for a one-on-one conversation. She listened to his perspective without interrupting and discovered that Tom felt overwhelmed by the project's timeline and worried that some of her suggestions would delay their progress. Sarah acknowledged his concerns and shared her own, explaining why she felt her ideas were important. Together, they found common ground and agreed on a plan that addressed both of their priorities. Over time, their working relationship improved, and Sarah realized that the conflict had actually strengthened their collaboration. Have you ever been in a situation like Sarah's, where a disagreement felt like a wall but turned into a bridge when handled with patience and understanding? The first step to exercising wisdom in conflicts is practicing active listening. This means truly hearing the other person's perspective, not just waiting for your turn to speak. Ask questions to clarify their concerns, reflect back what you've heard, and show genuine empathy. Often, people just want to feel understood, and giving them that space can diffuse tension before it escalates. Next, manage your emotions. It's easy to let anger or frustration take over in the heat of the moment, but reacting impulsively often makes things worse. Take a deep breath, acknowledge your feelings, and choose to respond calmly. Remember, you're in control of your emotions, not the other way around. Another powerful strategy is focusing on common ground. Even in the most heated disagreements, there's usually something you both agree on, shared goals, values, or outcomes. Highlighting these can shift the conversation from me versus you to us versus the problem. When approaching conflict, adopt a collaborative mindset. Instead of trying to win the argument, aim for solutions that benefit everyone involved. This might mean compromising or finding creative alternatives, but the goal is to prioritize the long-term health of the relationship over short-term victories. And even when conflicts don't resolve perfectly, there's always something to learn. Reflect on your role in the disagreement. Consider how you could improve your communication, and use the experience to approach future conflicts with greater wisdom. As Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, wisely said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." This means you don't have to stoop to anger, resentment, or retaliation. Instead, respond with patience, understanding, and a commitment to constructive solutions. So the next time you find yourself in a disagreement, think of the Stoic gardener. Approach the conflict with care and wisdom, pulling out the weeds of negativity while nurturing the seeds of understanding. Conflict doesn't have to destroy relationships. It can strengthen them if you're willing to listen, learn, and work together. How will you handle your next disagreement? Will you let it fester, or will you use it as an opportunity to grow, connect, and build stronger bonds? The choice, my friend, is yours. 7. Let's talk about balance, not the kind that helps you ride a bike or walk a straight line, but the kind that keeps you steady through life's storms. Inner balance. This kind of balance allows you to face life's highs and lows with grace, resilience, and a sense of calm, no matter what comes your way. Now, balance isn't about being perfect or having everything figured out. It's about finding harmony within yourself, between your strengths and weaknesses, your passions and your reason, your ambition and your humility. It's about cultivating a sense of grounded stability that lets you navigate life's challenges with clarity and purpose. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers of wisdom and self-mastery, believed that inner balance was the foundation of a virtuous life. They taught that by cultivating virtues like wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, we could achieve harmony within ourselves and respond to life's difficulties with strength and composure. Think of it this way: you're a ship sailing across the ocean. Your strengths and weaknesses are like the sails and ballast of the ship. The sails catch the wind, driving you forward, while the ballast keeps you steady, preventing you from tipping over when the seas get rough. Without sails, you'd be stuck, unable to move forward. But without ballast, you'd be at the mercy of every wave, constantly thrown off course. Balance is about using both, your strengths to move ahead and your self-awareness to stay steady. Let me tell you about Daniel, a young professional who was thriving in his career but struggling to find peace within himself. On the surface, he seemed successful: promotions, recognition, and a growing reputation in his field. But inside, he felt overwhelmed, constantly chasing perfection and feeling like he wasn't good enough. He worked long hours, neglecting his health and relationships, and every small mistake sent him into a spiral of self-doubt. One day, after an exhausting week, Daniel confided in a mentor who introduced him to the Stoic idea of balance. The mentor explained that Daniel's drive and ambition were his sails, propelling him forward, but his lack of self-awareness and self-compassion were like a missing ballast, leaving him vulnerable to burnout and emotional turbulence. Daniel began practicing self-awareness, taking time to reflect on his thoughts and emotions. He started small, journaling for 10 minutes each morning and identifying patterns in his behavior. He also worked on temperance, setting boundaries at work and making time for his health and relationships. Over time, Daniel learned to embrace his strengths while acknowledging his weaknesses, and he found a sense of harmony that allowed him to thrive without feeling overwhelmed. Have you ever felt like Daniel, where life's demands pulled you in so many directions that you lost your sense of balance? What would happen if you took a moment to pause and focus on finding that inner steadiness? The first step to cultivating inner balance is practicing self-awareness. Pay attention to your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Notice how you react to different situations and identify patterns that either help or hinder you. Self-awareness is like a compass, helping you navigate your inner world and make conscious choices. Next, focus on cultivating the 4 Stoic virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Wisdom comes from learning and reflecting, helping you make better decisions. Courage is about facing challenges and fears with strength. Justice reminds you to treat others with fairness and respect, while temperance helps you find moderation in your desires and actions. These virtues act as anchors, keeping you grounded and balanced in all areas of life. It's also important to embrace both your strengths and weaknesses. Your strengths are tools to help you move forward, but your weaknesses are opportunities for growth. Be honest with yourself about where you struggle, and work on strategies to improve or manage those areas without being overly critical of yourself. Finding your center is another crucial practice. This could mean meditating, practicing mindfulness, spending time in nature, or engaging in activities that bring you joy and peace. These practices help you reconnect with your inner calm, especially when life feels chaotic. And finally, live in alignment with your values. When your actions match your core beliefs, you'll feel more grounded and authentic, even when faced with challenges or temptations. As Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, wisely said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." True freedom isn't about controlling the world around you, it's about mastering your inner world. It's about cultivating balance, so you can respond to life's challenges with wisdom, courage, and integrity. So, the next time you feel off balance, think of yourself as the Stoic ship. Adjust your sails, check your ballast, and steer yourself toward inner harmony. Life will always bring waves, but with balance you can navigate them with resilience and purpose. How will you take steps to cultivate your inner balance today? What small changes can you make to bring more harmony into your life? Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress, one steady step at a time. 8. Let's talk about change, not the spare coins jingling in your pocket, but the kind that shakes up your world, forces you to adapt, and sometimes feels like stepping into the unknown. Change is inevitable. It's as certain as the sunrise and as constant as the passage of time. Everything around us is in flux, relationships evolve, careers take unexpected turns, seasons shift, and even our own bodies and minds transform as we journey through life. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers of wisdom and resilience, understood this universal truth. They believed that resisting change is like trying to swim upstream against a powerful current. It's exhausting, futile, and only leads to frustration. Instead, they taught that true peace comes from accepting change as a natural part of life, from flowing with the river of time rather than fighting it, and from adapting to life's ever-shifting currents with grace and resilience. Think of yourself as a tree in a forest. The seasons bring cycles of growth, abundance, dormancy, and renewal. The tree doesn't cling to its leaves in the fall or resist budding in the spring. It adapts, transforms, and flows with the rhythm of nature. This is the essence of embracing change, not passive resignation or giving up on your dreams, but understanding that change is a force that shapes us, challenges us, and ultimately helps us grow into wiser, stronger, and more fulfilled individuals. Let me share a story. Meet Lisa, a marketing professional who had spent years building her career. One day, her company announced a major restructuring, and her role was eliminated. At first, she was devastated. She clung to the familiar, replaying memories of her job and fearing the uncertainty ahead. But after some reflection, Lisa decided to approach the situation differently. She remembered a quote by Heraclitus, "The only thing that is constant is change." She began to see the loss of her job not as an end, but as an opportunity, a chance to explore new paths. Lisa took time to assess her values, learn new skills, and eventually started her own consulting business. Today, she says that losing her job was one of the best things that ever happened to her. Have you ever faced a change that felt overwhelming at first, but later turned out to be a blessing in disguise? What would happen if you embraced change instead of fearing it? The Stoics offer timeless strategies for navigating the currents of change. First, practice mindfulness. Pay attention to the present moment and observe the changes happening around you without judgment or resistance. When you become aware of the impermanence of life, it becomes easier to accept change as natural. Next, focus on what you can control. You can't stop change, but you can choose how you respond to it. Like a sailor adjusting the sails to catch the wind, you can adapt your actions and attitude to navigate the new terrain. Reframing your perspective is another powerful tool. Instead of viewing change as a threat, see it as an opportunity for growth and learning. Ask yourself, what can I gain from this experience? How can it help me evolve and expand my horizons? Embrace the unknown, even when it feels uncomfortable. The uncertainty that comes with change can be scary, but it can also bring excitement, adventure, and unexpected opportunities. Step outside your comfort zone, and you might discover something extraordinary. The Stoics also remind us to find meaning in impermanence. Everything in life is temporary, constantly transforming. While this can bring feelings of loss, it can also help us appreciate the beauty of the present moment. Cherish the good times, learn from the tough ones, and understand that every experience, whether joyful or painful, is part of life's ever-changing tapestry. As Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, wrote, "Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight." When we accept this truth, we can let go of the fear of change and embrace it as a natural and essential part of life. So, the next time you encounter change, whether it's a small shift or a life-altering event, think of the Stoic tree standing tall in the forest. Bend with the wind, adapt to the changing seasons, and let the river of time carry you forward. Change is not your enemy, it's your greatest teacher, the catalyst for growth, and the doorway to new possibilities. How will you face the changes in your life? Will you resist and struggle, or will you embrace the flow and see where it leads? Remember, my friend, that every change carries the seeds of transformation, and within those seeds lies the potential for a richer, more meaningful life. 9. Seeking inner tranquility. The Stoics' path to a peaceful mind. Let's talk about tranquility, not the fleeting calm of a quiet beach or the stillness of a sunset, but the kind of deep, lasting peace that lives within you. It's the inner tranquility that allows you to stand steady amidst the noise and chaos of everyday life, a sanctuary of calm that you carry with you no matter where you go. Here's the truth about tranquility. It's not something you stumble upon or find in the world outside. It's something you cultivate within yourself. It's not about avoiding life's challenges or running away from stress, but about creating a still, unshakable center inside you, a place of peace that remains untouched by the storms of the external world. The Stoics, those ancient seekers of wisdom and masters of self-mastery, understood this well. They believed that inner tranquility was the foundation of a virtuous and fulfilling life. To them, it was the source of resilience, the key to wise decision-making, and the path to greater joy, even in the face of adversity. They taught that if you can cultivate inner peace, you can navigate life's ups and downs with grace, clarity, and strength. Think of yourself as a gardener tending a serene pond. The surface of the pond may ripple with the winds of change, stirred by the challenges and uncertainties of life. But deep below, at the bottom of the pond, lies a stillness, a quiet, undisturbed clarity. That's what inner tranquility is like. It's about finding that deep, calm place within you, where peace and clarity reside, no matter what's happening in the world around you. Let me tell you a story. Meet Rachel, a busy mother and small business owner who felt like she was constantly running on a treadmill. Her days were packed with meetings, errands, and endless to-do lists. She often found herself overwhelmed, snapping at her kids and lying awake at night with her mind racing. One day, after a particularly stressful week, Rachel decided to take a step back. She remembered reading about the Stoic practice of mindfulness and decided to give it a try. She started small, spending just 5 minutes each morning focusing on her breath and noticing her thoughts without judgment. Over time, she began to feel more grounded. She also simplified her schedule, letting go of commitments that drained her energy, and started taking evening walks in the park to connect with nature. Rachel found that these small changes made a big difference. She felt calmer, more present, and better equipped to handle life's challenges. Have you ever felt like Rachel, overwhelmed by the demands of life, unsure of how to find a moment of peace? What would happen if you took a few small steps to cultivate inner tranquility in your own life? The Stoics offer timeless strategies for finding that inner oasis of peace. First, practice mindfulness. Bring your attention to the present moment, to your breath, your body, and your surroundings. By grounding yourself in the now, you can quiet the mental chatter, reduce anxiety, and create space for clarity and calm. Simplify your life by letting go of what no longer serves you. This might mean decluttering your physical environment, saying no to commitments that drain your energy, or releasing thoughts that create unnecessary stress. The less clutter you carry, the more room you'll have for peace. Spend time in nature, whether it's a walk in the park, a hike in the woods, or simply sitting under a tree. Nature has a way of soothing the soul and reminding us of the beauty and interconnectedness of life. Gratitude is another powerful tool. Take a moment each day to reflect on the good things in your life, no matter how small. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's present, creating a sense of contentment and inner peace. And finally, practice acceptance. Life isn't perfect, and neither are we. Accept the things you cannot change, the challenges you face, and the imperfections of the world. Resistance only creates suffering. Acceptance opens the door to peace. As Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, wisely said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Focus on your own inner work, on cultivating virtue, wisdom, and tranquility. The more you nurture your inner peace, the more you'll radiate it to those around you." So, the next time you feel overwhelmed by the chaos of life, remember the Stoic pond. Dive deep within yourself, past the ripples and waves on the surface, and find that quiet, still point where tranquility resides. Cultivate this inner peace, and you'll discover a wellspring of strength, resilience, and joy that can carry you through any storm. How will you begin to create your own inner sanctuary today? What small changes can you make to bring more peace into your life? Remember, tranquility is not a destination, it's a practice, one that grows stronger with each step you take. 10. Living with purpose. The Stoics' Guide to a Meaningful Life. Let's talk about purpose, not the kind that fits neatly into a job title or a social media bio, but the kind that gives your life real meaning, the kind that makes you feel alive, focused, and fulfilled. Purpose isn't something you stumble upon, like loose change in your pocket or a long-lost sock in the laundry. It's something you create intentionally, something you cultivate through your choices, your actions, and your dedication to living in harmony with your deepest values. The Stoics, Those ancient masters of living with intention and clarity believed that purpose was the foundation of a meaningful life. They taught that by identifying what truly matters to us, aligning our actions with those values, and dedicating ourselves to something greater than our own desires, we could live a life filled with joy, fulfillment, and peace of mind. Living with purpose is like being an artist working on a masterpiece. Your purpose is the vision that guides your brushstrokes, the inspiration that brings your colors to life, and the meaning that gives depth to every detail. Without purpose, your canvas remains blank, your strokes are aimless, and your life lacks the clarity and beauty it deserves. Let me share a story with you. Sarah, a young professional, spent years chasing what she thought was her purpose, climbing the corporate ladder, earning promotions, and accumulating achievements. On paper, her life looked perfect, but deep down, she felt empty and unfulfilled. One day, after a particularly stressful week, she realized she had lost touch with what truly mattered to her. She decided to pause and reflect on her values. She asked herself questions like, what do I care about? What kind of impact do I want to make? What brings me joy? She discovered that her real passion was helping others grow and succeed.